easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? When we talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that it's not me. It's beef, we shred a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'ma go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They bring out the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe. Connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Pay for this. Nigga, I eat bars and drink flows, thinking you woke into your third eye peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy. It's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early. This bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game. These niggas lame. Say bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same. You want the easy pass? Tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire. You can't stand the rain. Take an aim. Tell him runner he can try his best. Drive a car named after me. That's why I'm in the vet. Laugh to these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do. That's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this janitor with the mop stick. You gonna need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick. I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7" is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk. I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl? I'm talking about another gun. You hear now? Hey, look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas. We burn the crib. I'm ahead now. And I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga. I don't fear clown. Policies make it sound like raindrop. That's a firestorm. Get the job done in the few and get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walking in bitch ready for war. I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex. That's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
What's good now? I'm about to get young. Come up.
Yeah, change for the better. Put that old nigga. Let's make this song right. Yeah, I changed for the better. Put that old nigga in the shredder. But however, I could never take a step back for my pleasure. Change the weather. Ruger 5'7" on my dresser. Clip full with a lot of pressure. I forget that I made her special. I don't care, so I don't remember. Hidden treasures in my lecture. New texture, but the same message. Think rich, no think better. Chevy boy, I don't need a Porsche. Bucket clean and I feed the horse. Pull up on me, lose a bitch, ain't nothing to me. Ben Simmons, they ain't fucking with me. Take sides, you was set hopping. Heat on, you was flip flopping. On the come up, then he start watching. We open doors like fuck knocking. Yeah, she see it and then don't believe it. Spit fire, my heart anemic. Make a choice, get in the van. Take a ground and become a man. You pussy, I'm straightforward. Take orders, give orders. Bend corners, set orders. Niggas fold like rich quarter. Lifelong, but my tip shorter. Only for the bullshit though. Counterfeit niggas that be full of it though. I don't really hear what you into, nigga. We don't really care what you been through, nigga. I offend you, nigga. Sharp like a quick set turn in the venue, nigga. Cut right through it like a chin suit, nigga. If I said it, I mean it. And know I'm the meanest and one of the cleanest. I put it together and break it in pieces. I got plenty of time, I got plenty ideas. You wouldn't believe it. I roll with the lions, you run with hyenas. I'm David inside of a killer marina. For all of my people, I'm giving you all of the smoke. Stop saying the stuff that you won't really want to live up to. Live by code, yeah, we stand up too. Say you get money, put bread up too. Saying you dumb, we fed up too. Fed up too. In the league of my own, just leave me alone. They gon' keep talking about me. I just keep going and going and going. And it's what you showing. And I'ma keep growing and growing and rocking and rolling and take over loading. I hold the position in any condition, completing the mission. Paying attention, I got a connection to sit in the section. Yeah, I changed. 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 You know I changed. You know I changed. You know I changed. You know I changed. Yeah, I changed. Yeah, I changed.
All right. Salaki, All right, Shalom, Israel. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of World West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the Commander Journey in Hana. Slop. Trying to get this thing straight. Since 1969, we've been bringing out the truth about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and indigenous people. And they are God's chosen people, and that the Holy Bible, right, is their records and their history. And that the Lord is not dealing with no other nation but the nation of Israel. You understand? And we're teaching that the blacks, Hispanics, and so-called Native Indians are God's chosen people. You understand? Right now, we are at the bottom. Right now, we are at the bottom of these other nations because we have forsaken our God. We have chose to choose other gods. All right. And we have chosen to go ahead and lean into our own understanding about things. You understand? And that's why the Lord has punished us. Slack Israel. Give me 1 second. Slack Israel. So yeah, the Lord has punished us because we have chosen to live our own way. You understand? We have chosen to go after other gods. So what the Lord has done was, being that we have forsaken him, he has allowed these other nations, okay, to go ahead and oppress us. And now we are forced to worship their gods. You understand? We are forced to worship their gods. And now also in our oppression, our woman that was so special, at a time when you read about this, the laws in the Bible, how our woman couldn't marry these other nations, which made them special. You understand? Now our oppressors can go ahead and just take our woman however they feel. They degrade our woman. You understand? And that's all because we have allowed ourselves to forsake our God. You understand? And the Lord has put us through misery, you know, throughout throughout history because of those decisions. We're gonna bring a little bit of that out. I'm gonna start off with Proverbs chapter 4. I'm gonna get 4 verse 7. Oh, it's lucky. Start with Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. So with the wisdom that you get understanding, man. Don't just read these scriptures and not understand what they're saying, not understand the spirit behind, the law. You understand what the Christian church will have you believing in is false. You understand the Christian church will have you reading this book and you will not be able to understand who the Lord is dealing with, what the Lord is trying to teach you. You know what I'm saying? You won't understand the lessons in life because you're not understanding this wisdom. You understand? So with all this wisdom that you are getting, get understanding with this wisdom. And how do you get understanding? You go precept behind precept, line by line when you're reading this Bible. Don't read it like a novel. And another way is by coming in the ISUPK and learning under the men of Commander Jenny and Hana. You understand? And we're gonna also bring out in this video a little bit about the history of the slavery of our people. You understand? For years, the Christian church has us to believe that we are free. You know what I'm saying? They are teaching about Christ, and now all they're teaching is that all you have to do is believe in Christ and you are a free man or a free woman. Well, when you look around at your people, Israel, black men, Latino, indigenous men, you don't look free. You understand? You seem to be, you see, your people seems to be still at the bottom. Your people still seems to be highly oppressed, man. Your people still seems to be, uh, you know, in these prison systems, flooding these prison systems. Your people still seem to be easily flooding the cemeteries. Like our people are destroyed, man. And we are destroyed. Why? Because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I'm gonna bring that up. All right. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And we blame the Christian church, man. The Christian church is to blame for our people being destroyed because they are not teaching our people the understanding of this Bible. That's why I just brought out in Proverbs 4 and 5, get wisdom, right? Get wisdom, get understanding. You understand? As you get in this wisdom, right? You're supposed to get understanding with it too. You understand? You're not supposed to just be reading this Bible, reading all this good sense, the good decision making, and not understanding why you're supposed to be doing this. You understand? The Christian church will have you feel like you could just do whatever you want. You understand? That's not what the God of this Bible is teaching you. You understand? Hold on real quick. We can get Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So that's exactly what we're going through as blacks, Latinos, and indigenous people. You understand? We are going through this misery and this oppression because we don't have the knowledge of who we are and what we're supposed to be doing right now. You understand? We lean on these other ways of life, meaning like these other nations' cultures. You understand? The black man and Hispanic and Native Indian man, You don't have no your own personal culture. You understand? You don't know where you really come from. You understand? Because all you remember and being taught was that your people came over here on slave ships. You understand? All they ever told you was that you're a nigga, was that you're a spick. You know what I'm saying? And now, all of a sudden, America is saying we're equal. You know, things don't be adding up. And in the Bible, it tells you exactly who you are. It tells you exactly what every nation that's walking this earth right now, it tells you who they are. And God's people are not cast off of this earth. I'm going to bring that up. You understand? Like, who are the Israelites today, man? And in order to figure that out, you got to read the curses. You got to break down the curses, right? Salaki. Salaki, y'all, bear with me. Salaki, y'all, bear with me. Just had to send that message back. All right, this is Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, this is Paul speaking. I say then, hath God cast away his people? So Paul is saying, has God cast away his people? You understand? In the Christian church, you'll be in there for years and you won't know nothing about the Israelites. But however, you come into the ISUPK, we're going to show you from Genesis to Revelations that the Lord is dealing with the Israelites. And then the next question we're going to say is this: has God cast away his people? Right? Let's read on. God forbid. So the Lord is saying, so Paul is saying, God forbid. You understand? So who are his people today? You know what I mean? Who are the Israelites today? And the way you figure that out is by reading these curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28. But I'm going to read on this verse. It says, Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. You understand? Paul is saying who he is right here in the first verse of chapter 11, man. In the Christian church, they'll read right over this. And then they'll go into some other spill or rhetoric that they talk about. You understand? Like, they are not teaching you the understanding of this Bible. You need to come into the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and really get a clear understanding about what you're supposed to be doing as a black man, what you're supposed to be doing as a, a so-called Latino or indigenous man. You understand? You are an Israelite. You understand? You're supposed to be keeping God's laws. All right? Let me read that again. Romans chapter 11, verse 1. It says, I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. You understand? Let's go over to the book of, let's go to Deuteronomy. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, man. Let's read these curses. Let's start at 20. Let's go to chapter 27, verse 1. All right. It's Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1. It says, and Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people. So Moses is with the elders of Israel. You know what I mean? He's with the higher ups, the old heads. You understand? Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. You understand? Moses is telling the people of Israel to keep all the commandments. See, Moses was dealing with his people, just as Christ was dealing with his people. You understand? Just like so, Moses was dealing with the Israelites, and Christ was dealing with the Israelites. You understand? This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. All right. And it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken, meaning listen. The word hearken means listen. Diligently, so focus. If you will listen and focus on the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. See, the Lord is telling us he will set us on high above all nations of the earth. You understand? So what does this mean? Okay, this means that, okay, you're supposed to be treating your brother how you want to be treated. Same thing for the sisters. And then the list goes on. You understand? We are not doing that today. Everybody has a selfish spirit, man. We have a spirit of Cain. You understand? We don't want to go ahead and follow the laws. We want to go ahead and do whatever we want to do. You understand? We want to do what makes us feel good today. And that's not what is required by following and loving the Most High. You know, the Most High requires you to keep his laws and his statutes, man. He requires you to gather with your people. And he requires you to revive your people. Today, we bash our people. That's all we hear about in the music and the hip hop and whatnot. We bash our people. Why? Because we are trying to get above one another with money and gain. And really, that is not what the Most High wants. The Most High wants us to treat each other how we would want to be treated. Keeping these commandments. You want to go ahead and survive what's about to happen. You know, like we're at the brink of World War III being started. If you want to survive as a nation of people, you need to start preferring one another. You understand? These are all in the commandments of God, man. And it's time we go ahead and examine ourselves and look at who we really are. Look at us in the mirror and see and ask ourselves, are we doing right? Are we being righteous? Did that Christian church really teach me anything about God? And if so, can they give me a precept or a scripture about all the stuff that pastor is saying? 9 times out of 10, that pastor is talking just anything that's floating past his mind. You understand? That pastor is leaning into his own understanding. You know what I'm saying? He is not walking in the way of God. All he cares about is for you to put money in the collection plate. He don't feel like teaching you your people's history. He don't want to go on these history books for which we are about to do tonight and put them to the scriptures. He don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to tell you that you are the chosen people, that you are the Israelites. You understand? Why? Because he is getting a lot of money from the government. And he's hiding his money in the walls like he's a kingpin. And he feels good. He wants to feel like a kingpin. You understand? He wants to feel like a kingpin. He wants to drive in a Rolls Royce. You understand? So he could bump and try to relate to Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? He wants to buy him a Maybach. You understand? So he could relate to what Rick Ross is talking about in his songs. You know what I'm saying? He wants to feel like a gangster. That's how all of us feel out here. That's how that's what we desire. So like I should say, that's what we desire out here as blacks. You know, we desire to feel like a gangster. You know what I'm saying? That's why, and that's why there's more women in the Christian church, because the Christian church ain't gangster. It's straight like that. They make Christ seem weak, man. They make Christ seem weak. You know what I mean? Check it out. You check the cover out. They make Christ seem weak, man. And that's why you don't see a lot of brothers in the Christian church. You see that Christian church is predominantly with more females, predominantly female. And the pastor is, 80% chance a pedophile or a homosexual. And he's allowing homosexuals in his church to be married and everything. That is not us right here. That is not us keeping the commandments of the Most High. The Christian church is not us keeping the commandments of the Most High. You understand? They only tell you to do some of the commandments. You know what I mean? Like passing around the collection plate, like paying your tithes, and you know what I'm saying? They only tell you to do some of them. Well, here's what the Lord said. And it shall come to pass, meaning this is going to happen, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments. It did not say some of them. You understand? It did not tell you to change, the names and of the holidays and change the customs of these high holy days or whatnot. It said for you to do all his commandments, man. To do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Let's drop down. All right, let me bring out verse 7, because these are the blessings that you will have. Let me start with verse 1 or 2, Salakia. It says, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee. Right? We know what it means for a blessing to overtake, meaning that these blessings you won't be able to run away from. You just are always going to be blessed. You know what I'm saying? You are always going to be thanking the Most High. However, let's keep on reading. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Verse 3, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. You understand? Meaning that you and your nation, meaning the 12 tribes, we will be the ones out here owning things in the city. We will be the ones out here owning the land, owning acres, owning the animals, the cattle, the fruits on the trees and whatnot. We would be the ones owning that thing, owning this stuff. We would be looked at as, we would be looked at as the ones to provide. You know what I'm saying? But now in today's world, today's society, we are the consumers. Let's read on. It says, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Verse 4, blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Meaning we will be multiplying, like I was just bringing up. Verse 5, blessed be, Salakia. Let me just drop down to verse 7. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Right? They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. You understand? See, if we would have kept all these commandments of the Most High, we would not be in the position that we are in today's society. We are at the bottom, and we have been at the bottom for years, for thousands of years, man. We have been at the bottom of these nations. And we keep losing our fights, man. Verse 7, it tells you if we would have kept these laws, it says, the Lord shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Let's go to verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy God, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day. All right. So if we chose to not choose God, if we chose not to choose his way, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You understand? So listen how the Lord is only, let's be mindful that the Lord is only saying he's going to curse Israel. All right. Now, why is he only going to curse Israel? We're going to hold this, right? We're going to go. Why is the Lord only going to curse Israel? for breaking his law. And this is what we do. And this is why he's going to curse Israel for breaking his law, right? You read precept upon precept to understand what's going on. All right. This is Psalms chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nations. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So he's not going to curse these other nations because at the end of the day, the Lord is only dealing with the nation of Israel. He gave us his judgments. He's not dealing with these other nations. We are his children. You understand? He's dealing with us because we are supposed to be representing him on this earth. We are supposed to be lords over these people. And why? Why? And now we choose to go ahead and forsake him. That's why we are still at the bottom. That's why these other nations are lords over us. You understand? And that's why we worship their gods. We're forced to worship their gods. And then our children grow up worshiping their gods. You understand? That they think that that's just a regular life. You understand? But since 1969, we've been bringing this truth out. You understand? And we letting our people know that you need to get up out that Catholic religion, get up out that Christian church, get up out the Muslim mosque, and it's time to change your life and come back to your God. You understand? Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh, thy God, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So this is how you recognize who God's chosen people are today on this earth. Who is the nations that are cursed with these curses? Let's read. All right. Let's go to Shalaki, bear with me. Let's go to verse 25. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25. And it says, the Lord Yahweh shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Now, here's what we're about to bring up. It's like it's getting dark in here. Here's what we're about to bring out. All right. It's like here's what we're about to we're gonna go into this book right here. It's called From Columbus to Castro, the History of the Caribbean, right? And what it's talking about is, how Columbus came and enslaved the indigenous people, and also how, the subs, also how the Negroes got into slaves it got sent to the Caribbean as well. It's a good read. You understand? I'm still reading it myself, but I'm gonna bring some things out to you, to support how this is showing you that this Bible is talking about our people. All right, so I'm gonna go to page 32. So let me see this work, y'all. Trying something new. 1 second, everybody. Salakia. All right. So here we are right here. We on page 32, right? And it's saying, hold on. Salakia, y'all bear with me. So this is what we about to do. We about to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25 real quick. It says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Right? So right here, we're about to start up here. It says, okay, we're talking about Columbus, right? It says, on his very first encounter with the Indians on October 12th, 1492, he recorded ominously in his journal, they should be good servants and intelligent, for I observed that they quickly took in what was said to them. Right? Let's read on. He considered them timid and unwarlike, ignorant of Spanish weapons. 10,000 of them would not stand up before 10 Spaniards. And he was of the opinion that with the small force at his disposal, he can overrun all the islands without opposition. You understand? So this is how Columbus was thinking. You understand? And that's another precept right here. Right? It's in Deuteronomy 28, verse 25. It says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. All right, let's keep on going. Sloppy, bear with me. Okay. All right. By 1495, it says right here, by 1495, the Spaniards were engaged in open warfare with the Indians. Naked, armed only with bows and arrows, the Indians were no match for the Spanish crossbows, knives, artillery, cavalry, and the dogs trained by the Spaniards to hunt them down. Thoroughly terrorized, the Indians were subjected to the payment of a tribute. All right. So this is what's going on right here, man. This is what's going on right here. So the Spaniards came over and started waging warfare onto the Indians, the so-called Indians, right? Let's read up here. It says, in the meantime, however, the Pope had enjoined on the Spanish sovereigns, right, the duty of treating the Indians kindly, converting them to Catholicism. So this is why right here you see that your Hispanic brothers or Latino brothers, that they are more likely to be in the Catholic religion. This is clear history right here. That's what their grandmothers and their grandfathers was knowing, you know what I'm saying, and was teaching their kids because of this right here. All right, let's keep on reading down here. All right. It says, thoroughly terrorized, the Indians were subjected to the payment of a tribute, anointing to from 1/2 to 2/3 of an ounce of gold every 3 months in the case of those who lived near the mines, and 25 pounds of cotton for those who did not. The Indians, in despair, fled to the mountains, abandoned all cultivation, and preferred to starve to death. Come on now. These curses is talking about us as a nation of people, man. You understand? So these curses is talking about us as a nation of people. And we need to be mindful. Like our history adds up to these curses. All right? Nobody else's history adds up to these curses but ours. As a nation of people. As a nation of people, man. Let me see if I can find some more here real quick. Salaki, bear with me. All right. So let's go back to the curses right now. Let's drop down to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. All right, and it says, the Lord Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. All right, so let's go back to this book real quick. I'm about to go back to the book real quick. And let's remember what he said. Let's remember what the book said. Salakia. All right, right here, it says it right here. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fly, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Right? Now it says right here in the book called From Columbus to Castro, The History of the Caribbean by Eric Williams, right? On page 31, in the middle, it says he's talking about Columbus. It says he deliberately included women in their number, explaining that the Portuguese had been unsuccessful in similar efforts with Negroes from Guinea because they had taken males only, but that the Indians, having their women with them, would be inclined to perform what they were required to do, whilst the woman would also teach the Spaniards their language. You understand? So in the works of Columbus colonizing the Caribbean, the West Indies, he was taking the man and the woman into slavery, right? And he would have the woman teach them their language. You understand? So this is all fitting into our curses right here. This is talking about a whole nation of people. It's not separating, it ain't separating, the German and everything. It's literally talking about a nation of people. And when you read in this book, it's going on about how everybody started to take part into this slavery. We became a high value of cargo. You understand? And we became like gold because they needed laborers to find, the gold that was in these islands and whatnot. That's why we got transported into the Caribbeans, because Columbus was trying to bring back gold and whatnot to the king and the queen back in Spain. You understand? Let's drop down to Deuteronomy 28, verse 51. And it says, "And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee." So what happened to our brothers and sisters out in the West Indies, out in Hispaniola, is right here in these curses, man. You can read about it in these history books, in these records. You understand? Our slavery is documented, man. Right? Let's go down to, let's go to verse 41. It says, "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." You understand? We went into captivity, man. Our sons and our daughters were shipped to and fro, you know, from across the ocean in the Atlantic slave trade, you know what I mean? And we don't know where they went. You know what I'm saying? Our kids were were taken into these sex chains. You understand? That stuff was all of that stuff was back in history as well. None of this stuff that's going on today is new. You understand? What they did to our people, you know what I mean, is in these books. It's in history books and everything. They're out there. It's just that they don't want you to read them. They don't want you to find them. They're not teaching you them. They're not putting it, you know what I mean? You gotta really look for them. But here in the ISUPK, we're telling you the books that you should be going ahead and reading in, and reading up on your history and fitting your history to these scriptures. You understand? Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28. Let's drop down to verse 40. No, let's go to let's drop down to verse 64. "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there shall serve other gods, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So that's what I was just showing you just a moment ago. That what Columbus was really doing was trying to convert people, the ones that he was taking in captive. He was trying to convert them into the Catholic religion, into that Catholic doctrine. You understand? Let me see if I can find some more. Bear with me. It's like this is my first time sharing, the video footage. So I hope that y'all saw it. Hope nothing went wrong. You understand? It says right here. All right. So, show you how this was talking about us, man. All right. So here we about to bring out and page on in and from Columbus to Castro, the history of the Caribbean. All right, the same book. We're going to turn to page 37, and it says, in order to protect the Indians from the excessive labor imposed on them, Las Casas accepted the solution proposed by the Dominican monks in an approach to the king in 1511 to the effect that as the labor of one Negro was more valuable than that of 4 Indians, every effort should be made to bring to Hispaniola many Negroes from uh, Guinea, which is in West Africa. The rationalization of Negro slavery and the Negro slave trade had begun. You understand? So they felt as if that one Negro would be better. They had theories about us. You know what I'm saying? They felt that if one Negro, but they felt that one Negro would be better than 4 Indians. So that theory was the theory of pushing us into the Negroes into the slavery in West Africa, from West Africa. You understand? And this is all showing that these curses match our history, man. Let's read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. I'm going to read verse 64 again. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even to the other, and there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Let's drop down to verse 68. And it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Understand? And the word Egypt, we're talking about it breaks down, translates to Egyptos, which means bondage, right? Bondage means slavery. So when it says the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into slavery again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning thou shalt see it no more again. They're talking about the land where we come from. All right. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, meaning slave men and slave woman. And no man shall buy you, meaning no man is going to buy us out of this slavery. No man is going to save us out of this slavery. You understand? We've been enslaved and we still enslaved right now. We are still in oppression right now, man. And we need to wake up and get out of this sleep that we are in. And we need to run into those ISUPK doors and learn our history. Because our history is in this Bible. Our history is the records of this Bible. You understand? This Bible is not meant for no other nation but the nation of Israel. All right? It's time we realize that there's a bunch of books that scholars have written showing us the slavery and how it started and detailed on how it was going. And the Lord is not an author of confusion as well. You understand? He's showing you in detail on how you're going to be cursed by as a whole nation of people. All right? Let me get you guys another verse. Bear with me. Let me go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. You know what? Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 54. And it says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. All right. So the Lord made Adam in control of everything, right? And after these, Adam also, who thou made is Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all. So we all know we come from Adam. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's hiding that truth. We all come from Adam. All right. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. So the Lord is telling you in good detail on who he is dealing with. All right. The Lord is differentiating everybody that came from Adam. Right here in this verse, he says, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. You understand? Let's read on, verse 55. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Meaning, if we keep his commandments, we would have been on top, man. This would have been our society, meaning our world. He said, because thou madest the world for our sakes. You understand? All the 12 tribes will be running everything. We will have the cities. We will have the farmland. You understand? And we will have people working for us. This is what we would have had if we would have kept his commandments. We wouldn't be going through slavery. You understand? We wouldn't have been going through none of this stuff. All we had to do is stop being disobedient to our Lord, our God, Yahweh. All right? Let's read on, verse 56. As for the other people, right? He's talking about these other nations, right? Which also come of Adam, right? See, it's being very in detail here. Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. Man, these other nations are nothing. You understand? They are nothing but spit. You know, a little spit that fall out your mouth. That's spittle. These other nations are nothing, man, compared to the nation of Israel. That's in the Bible, man. Let's keep on reading. And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So all these other nations, they're like a drop that falls from a vessel, like a bottle or a water bottle. You're not going to care about that. You understand? Verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, meaning these other nations, which have ever been reputed as nothing, meaning that reputed, right? These other nations that have a reputation of being nothing compared to the Israelites, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. See, that is what has happened, man. And this is what's still going on today. They got their knee on our necks. We can't even go for a run in the neighborhood without them shooting us from out their pickup truck. You understand? The cops is invading our houses and shooting our women in the bed. You understand? And we still not getting justice for most of these crimes that the government is committing on us. They have begun to be lords over us, man. They convinced our women to be, to give abortions. They convinced our women to be whores. You understand? And they convinced us to teach them that lifestyle. You understand? This society is teaching us to devour ourselves. And it's coming from their teachings. The Christian church is their teachings. You understand? That was given to us in our slavery. I just read it out of here, where it says, On page 32, in the meantime, however, the Pope, right, had enjoined on the Spanish sovereigns the duty of treating the Indians kindly. So the Pope was giving out orders, like laws, right? And he was communicating with the Spanish sovereigns, meaning the people that was in charge in Spain, right? And he was trying to convert them into the Catholic doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that wanted to be converted into the Catholic doctrine without a fight, he's telling his people, hey, treat them nicely. And that's what's going on today. You see us being converted, like as long as we go ahead and do the Christian way of life, we'll get treated nicely. As long as we be homosexuals, as black men and black women, we get treated nicely. You understand? As long as we go ahead and sell drugs, well, we won't get treated nicely, but it's money for them because we'll be in their prison system. You understand? But as long as we talk about it, you understand? As long as we make rap music about it or whatnot, we get treated nicely. You know what I'm saying? You make Jay-Z money. You know what I mean? You make Rick Ross money. As long as you rap about it, that's what you're going to make. You know what I'm saying? You get treated nicely. We are still oppressed. This is nothing but an elevated plantation, man. We are still oppressed. We may not have, shackles and chains in the streets being sold out there on Market Street, but however, they do have control over our minds, man. And at the end of the day, they don't really need to do much anymore to get us to devour our own selves. All right. I'm going to read this again out of the book. All right. Make sure y'all try and find this book, man. Page 32. I'm going to read it again. It says, in the meantime, however, the Pope had enjoined on the Spanish sovereigns the duty of treating the Indians kindly and converting them to Catholicism. The sovereigns thereupon issued a royal decree whereby those Indians who accepted Spanish sovereignty and submitted to it without resistance were considered subjects of the crown, right? And as such could not be reduced to slavery. You understand? So it just reminds you about the house Negro. You know what I mean? Nothing has changed. You understand? Let's keep on going. All right. Well, we already read this. Yeah. Let's go back to where we was at in the Bible, man. Second Esdras, chapter 6. All right. Let's start at 57. Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 57. It says, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which has ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. That's what's going on, man. It's in our history through slavery, and it's going on now in the kingdom of America. All these other nations are still above the black, Hispanic, and indigenous man. You understand? All these other nations come over here, they get big business loans, the loans that we can't get. You understand? And they go ahead and build them 7-Eleven gas stations and whatnot, and Dunkin' Donuts. All right. They got the nails polish stores, the nail salons. They got the beauty supply stores. You get your weaves at. You understand what I'm saying? They are making money off of us, being consumers to them. You understand? We are still at the bottom. Let's keep on reading. Verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. You understand? So this is going into clear detail how we are given into their hands, man. You understand? We are always being devoured by our oppressors because we continue to choose to live our own way. We continue to go ahead and worship what we want to worship, create our own gods, honor ourselves and not the Lord. You know what I'm saying? This is what the condition that we are in right now. Shalaki. This is the condition that we are in right now. All right. It says, but we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. Verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? You understand? So how long? This is how we feeling right now. How long are we going to endure in this society, man? As a wise man in this society, you know a man ain't supposed to be a homosexual. And they are out here putting it on TV commercials now. I didn't grow up seeing that on commercials. They are moving this wickedness on us people, on us as a nation of people. It's a lot. You understand? The abortion clinics, that Planned Parenthood, man, it's around our neighborhoods. It's in our communities. You understand? They are out here trying to devour us. This society is not made for us, man. It says, if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? You understand? This is us right now. We feeling it. We gotta pay these taxes, right? We gotta pay all these high bills. The property values is going up. The gas prices is going up. This is not our society, man. Right? This is not our society. And it's time we not love the things in this society. We should not be loving America, man. We should not be voting. You know what I mean? We should not be loving their women. We should not love the things that they are influencing on us as a nation of people. We need to go ahead and change our ways, come back to these laws, and show these people that we are special, man. Let's show these people that we are different from them. Let's stop trying to envy our oppressor and be just holy from our oppressor. Meaning to be separate from our oppressor, man. This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Don't love today's society, man. You should not be loving what they are influenced on us as a nation of people. For years, weed has been illegal, Salakia. And then all of a sudden, America starts legalizing it, man. Everybody is out here fried, man. Everybody's minds is out here fried. They want us to be walking around like zombies. You understand? They want us to be walking around like zombies because why? They are giving us what we always wanted. We always wanted weed to be legal. Now they're giving it to us so they can keep us controlled, keep us happy so we not out here rioting. You understand? This is what they want on us as a nation of people. They want to destroy us, man. They keep on pushing drugs into our community. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people out here thinking that America don't sell drugs. America sells drugs to go ahead and to pay for these wars that they are fighting, man. That's what they are doing, man. They are pushing these drugs on us in our communities. And they get mad when it reaches out to their communities, when it reaches out to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? They get mad. That's when they start saying, say no to drugs. We need to start going to war with these kingpins and everything. Man, America is the kingpin. They are playing us as a nation of people, man. They are playing us. let's say let's put these drugs down for real and get off these streets. You understand? Coming to the school to ISUPK. And then we're gonna send you out back out on the streets to deliver the truth about the Most High, man. Deliver this truth. And you let these people understand that Christ will return and the kingdom is coming. You understand? Our society will come. And Israel will be back on top. You understand? It says, 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Meaning, don't love the things in the society. If any man love the world, so the Lord is saying, if any man love this society, the love of the Father is not in him. You understand? So in society, man, if you just love what society is pushing, if you love the little liberty, the crumb off the plate that you got right now, if you love all of that, the love of the Father is not in you. You understand? If you want to go ahead and have sex with white women, have sex with Chinese women, and all these other heathen nations, love of the Father is not in you. You know what I'm saying? You love the society because society allows you to have interracial marriages. You know what I'm saying? You love what society is, giving you. You know what I mean? You love it. You understand? You support LGBTQ, F, whatever, like Z. You support that. You understand? Because you love the white supremacy. You love being on the bottom and you love your oppressor. My black people, we suffer from Stockholm syndrome. And we need to be reminded on what our oppressors did to us in history and what they are still doing to us right now, to go ahead and cure that mind sickness that we have, that poison that we have. And we need to leave the Christian church, man. We need to come back to the home of the truth. You know what I'm saying? We need to come home to the home of the truth with our black boots on. We're all black, headband too. You understand? Get your Hebrew name, and then get anointed to teach. You know what I'm saying? Come back to your culture. You understand? Christ didn't die so you can go out here and just be a flaming homosexual. Christ did not die so you could do that. Christ did not die so you could just go out here and sell crack cocaine so your family could do good and another family could die. Or another family has to bury a loved one because you out here selling them drugs. Everybody out here ODing on drugs. You understand? And nobody has gotten the sense that, we need to stop. You know what I'm saying? We need to come back together. We are the nation that's not desired, man. And that's what the Lord wants us to do. If you see that we are not desired, even in history, we were not desired, what makes you think that these people change the way that they think about us today? But they won't let us leave America. They won't let us be on top of America. They still look at us as inferior to them. Understand? What makes you think that our past has nothing to do with today? Come on, man. You need to know where you came from to know what you're going. You need to know where you came from to know how you're supposed to move right now. You understand? So, it says right here. So, Yeah, we need to know where we came from, man. We need to know that this is our history in this Bible, man. Let's read what Paul said. In Romans chapter 15, verse 4, it says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning." So that means we need to go ahead and get in these history books and read our history. You understand? We need to read our history. You understand? We need to go into the Bible and read our history. You understand? This carries all of Salaki. People keep calling me. This Bible carries all of our records, man. Hey, Shalom Yahabashbaratah, to a priest, also a war. What's going on, brother? You understand? We need to go ahead and gather ourselves together, get back into this culture. You know what I mean? Get back into our way of life. Because the way that we going right now, we're going to continue to be destroyed. You understand what I'm saying? And with that, I'm going to end this class off. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been bringing out this truth. You understand? Make sure you go ahead and get into class. Any brother out in Trenton is looking for some spiritual guidance, looking for counsel, make sure you go to ISUPK.com and look up our contact information and find a school location near you. You understand? And with that being said, Shalom, Israel.